Well, hi, everybody. Today we're going to continue our talk about nutrition, and we're going to look into the sources of food and then how much food we need to be eating. So, first, the question is, where does food come from? It's easy to forget sometimes when we go to the grocery store every week that food doesn't actually come from the grocery store. In fact, we know, if we think about it, that food does come from different places all across our country and across the world. It's first important to know that before food ever gets to the grocery store, it comes from farms, ranches, ocean, groves, and orchards. These are all places where food is sourced. All food comes from plants, like fruits, vegetables, and grains, or it comes from animals, like beef, pork, chicken, fish, or it comes from products from animals, like eggs and milk. Some foods come from other parts of the country, like for instance, oranges grow in both California and Florida. And some foods come from other parts of the world, such as grapes or other produce from South America that we import here to America during the winter months. Have you ever thought about how those strawberries are fresh in the middle of the winter? Being able to produce foods from other countries means Americans get to eat a greater variety of foods all year round. But there are advantages to eating local and fresher foods. Often those foods haven't traveled nearly as far, nor are they less fresh. The longer a food takes to ship, the more that food needs to be preserved, and that preservation takes away some of the nutrients. So that's a little bit about our food, but let's hear the truth about drinks. The question is, can you handle the truth? Do you drink drinks that help your body, or do you more often drink the drinks that hurt your body? There are a couple of types of drinks or beverages. Nutrient dense beverages are those that come from foods that are already nutrient dense, meaning they have things that our body needs in them. The one exception is water. Water has 0 calories, meaning it won't make you gain weight, but it does include some minerals. Water is something essential that our body must have every day. Doctors recommend 8 cups of water. It's hard to track exactly what 8 cups is, but just know you should be drinking several cups of water through the day, continually. Nutrient-dense beverages include low-fat milk. That gives the body its source of calcium, vitamin D, and other important minerals. You can add a little bit of chocolate or even some low-fat, low-sugar ice cream and fruit to make a smoothie, though you want to make those more of a treat and not an everyday occurrence. Drinking milk and water are very key to keeping a healthy body in balance. Tomato juice, carrot juice, V8, and vegetable juices combined with fruit juice are available in a lot of places. You might find these drinks tasty, and many of them are very good for you. But again, we want to focus on drinking water and milk primarily and adding these in as a treat in between. There are many sugary drinks like sodas and fruit drinks, powder mixed drinks, and energy drinks. All these are linked, unfortunately, to childhood obesity. Being overweight as a child sets people on a track that can be very difficult through their life. Setting habits of drinking drinks and eating foods that are healthy when you're a child really help you when you get older because those habits become more solid in your foundation of eating. We want to remember that caffeine drinks cause mood swings that go high and low. We want to avoid those mood swings. So, doctors recommend that kids drink milk and water every day as their primary hydration techniques. The Goldilocks principle should be applied when considering a serving of food. Not too large, not too small, just right. So, one thing that helps understand what a serving size is trying to compare that serving size or portion of food that we should have to other objects. For instance, did you know that a serving size of a pancake is about the size of a DVD? The correct serving size of peanut butter is about the size of your thumb. Now, when we spread peanut butter over a piece of bread, that becomes harder to gauge. But when you slap it on there in the first place, that's about the amount you should be having. A fruit serving, you want to think about the size of a tennis ball. An apple, orange, they're naturally that shape. But when you're thinking of chopped fruit or mixed fruit, you want to think about a bundle of it the size of a tennis ball. If you're eating grapes, you want to think about the size of a light bulb. Maybe in this picture, the light bulb should be sitting upside down, but that's about the number and size of the grapes you should eat in one sitting. How about some other foods, like meats? One serving size of meat is about the size of a deck of cards. That may be smaller than you were thinking. This is what's actually recommended for people when they eat. A bowl of cereal is about the size of your fist. A healthy portion size looks like this right here. Healthy portions are where on a plate we have the different food groups. Here we have plenty of vegetables, though I don't see fruits. I see grain and I see protein in the meat, the fish. So here we have a plate that's well portioned. And when you have a plate that's portioned, you don't need a whole bunch of one of the things because the other things are missing. So sometimes we'll look at a portion size and say, oh, that's really small. But if you put that together with other parts of food groups on one plate, you have a full plate and it's plenty to eat. Oftentimes, though, we do get a bunch of junk food or fast food, and we know that those are packed with things like fat, sugar, caffeine, and salt. We want to avoid eating fast foods or over-portioned too big sizes of foods. If you notice that you're eating primarily one thing for a meal, odds are it's not portioned correctly. So, what about when that happens? What about when you go out to a restaurant and you order something from the menu? Most restaurants give people, instead of one portion, they'll give 1.5 to 3 portions per meal. Restaurants want to impress their clients. They want to impress their customers. So they give them foods that taste really good. Oftentimes they're high in fat, butter, sugar, and they want to give them a lot so they don't leave hungry. So that means that they serve 1.5 to 3 times the calories per meal that someone should be getting as well. If you remember the labels that we looked at last health lesson, these accurately show the portion size for each food item. Read the label on potato chips, for instance, or other snack foods to see what the correct serving size is. That bag you're holding might actually be 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 serving sizes instead of one. It's useful to buy snack foods in single serving sizes or divide the bag up into little bags and freeze them until you're ready to use them. There aren't any forbidden foods, and I'm not here to tell you that you can't eat a food unless, of course, you're allergic to it. But we want to try and manage the high calorie, high fat foods. Eat them less and make a habit of eating the healthier foods in their correct portion together more often. If you're out to eat, or you have a big serving at dinner, you can cut that in half and share it with a friend or a family member, and that saves you money and it means you're eating smart. If you're at a fast food restaurant, anybody can get the kids' meals, even adults can. So if you want to eat more healthy when you're eating out at fast food restaurants, consider that option. Thanks a lot for listening today. That's a lot of material. But just remember, the habits you build today in eating will carry you all the way through the rest of your life. Choosing well now will help you in the future.